Hey there, Tilray traders and investors. It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. Hope you had a great weekend. Today is Monday, August 29th. Hope you're well. And in this video, going to be discussing, by way of popular request, Tilray Brands stock, TLRY ticker symbol, and we're going to be charting it on the NASDAQ and going to go over my price target on this stock. Currently, I have a price target of about $5 USD. I think that's going to be in short order. And I'll go over my thoughts and opinions on the chart in the days and weeks ahead. And you can let me know what your price target is on Tilray as well. And make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe and tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. We'll take a look at the chart here in a moment. And I'll go over my price prediction, why I picked that level, and what we could potentially see on the low end and the high end in terms of price targets. But I think that one is very modest and doable. If you recall, I've been doing quite a few videos on these price targets, and I did a video on Cresco on their earnings, but I said a big move was likely coming soon, and the stock has been on fire on the weekly time frame. I also did a video on Green Thumb saying that the monthly bounce was underway, and I was targeting about $20 there on Green Thumb. And then I did another one on Verano targeting about $12. And if we take a look at Tilray here on the weekly time frame, it is a weekly inside bar, so we're just tightening up. But it's good to see that we're not dropping to a weekly lower low. If we take a look at the S&P 500, so SPY, it is breaking to a new weekly lower low. So we're consolidating, losing the low of the previous candle for the second week in a row. And the fact that Tilray hasn't even broken the low of last week shows a lot of strength in Tilray comparative to the broader market. And then we'll even go a step further. If you take a look at MSOS, the ETF, it's breaking to a weekly higher high. So MJ is looking really, really good here in my opinion. And like I've been saying, money has to go somewhere. And what better opportunity than, MJ and a name like Tilray that's beaten down, 95% from February 2021 highs, leading into, Germany legalization. They have a 20% market share there. We could potentially see safe banking by the end of the year. And I think a lot of people are making that bet that, they're looking at getting out of tech stocks or crypto, and they're looking to potentially look at other beaten down sectors that have a catalyst in the near term or the medium term, right? And what better opportunity than MJ and a name like Tilray, for example, and some other names as well. I just showed you, a couple in the US. But what better name than Tilray that's now 95% from February 2021 highs, and we could potentially see safe banking leading into the end of the year, and maybe even descheduling and full-blown legalization over the next 1 to 3 to 5 years, right? So again, if you've been holding tech stocks for the last 2 years, 3 years, you've seen a ton of gain, right? You've seen probably life-changing gains if you bought near the bottom and sold near the top, or you didn't have to buy the exact bottom. But the S&P 500, right, in a couple of years was up 125%. If you just do a Google search and see what the average return of SPY is, the S&P 500 on an annual basis, it's about 12%, a little less than 12%. So that means we got 10 years worth of gains in 2 years on the S&P 500. So that money's going to go somewhere, and in my opinion, what better opportunity than a name like Tilray, right? And again, very reassuring that we're not losing the low of last week. So that support will be at 351. But ultimately, we're just looking for a higher low compared to 317. We're still in a weekly uptrend. We have our low, high, higher low, and higher high. Now we're just scouting a higher low compared to 317. This is extremely healthy in my opinion. And again, this is what we want to see. We want to see this stair-step action where we form these higher lows and higher highs. And then that way, if the price does end up breaking down, we're not just going to crater and waterfall down, right? We have these support levels established, and that shows a lot more strength, right? And that's not what most people want to see. They just want to see prices go to the moon right now, yesterday, right? But we have to come to terms with the fact that MJ is not instant gratification. This is not get rich quick. It's going to take some time, and we have a ton of catalysts coming, not even just from a Tilray perspective, but from a sector-wide perspective as well. So key support for me going forward is 317. That's on the bear side because, like I said, if we lose that, we lose the weekly uptrend. So that's the most important support for me, in the medium term. And so that's support number one. Support number two here in the short term is 351. So if we lose 351, we break this weekly inside bar bearish, and then we look for a higher low compared to that 317. But we could easily pull back about 10% and just be looking for that higher low, right? So don't be surprised if we pull back another 5-10% here. It's still healthy. If we lose over 10%, we lose the weekly uptrend, then we're starting to get concerned. Right now we can kind of start to feel those feelings of PTSD and more lower lows. But in my opinion, it's just going to be a massive buying opportunity. And I do think that we could potentially see a little bit more weakness and just potential for one more leg down in the broader market, maybe go sideways for the next 1 to 2 months. And then I think into the end of October through December, MJ is going to completely light the lamp. And we're starting already to see, like I said, signs that MSOS, the ETF that tracks all the American operators, is breaking to a weekly higher high, while the S&P 500 on the weekly time frame is doing the opposite, having broken to a new weekly lower low for 2 weeks in a row. So this is looking really good. Most important resistance is going to be the high of the bounce there at 452. And like I said, I think we're going to be targeting $5 here in very short order. And then after $5, I can easily see a move up to, we don't have any resistance on the price action until $9. But I do think we're going to be targeting the 200-day moving average, which is there at 581. I think that's likely going to happen over the next, it could happen in the next couple of weeks, and it could happen, I think it will definitely happen in the next couple of months. But on the high end, if we get anything like safe banking, we don't have anything. If we look at the weekly time frame, there's nothing nearby until the 50 weekly, and then after that, the 100 weekly there at 1094. So I think $5 is a reasonable level to be targeting here in the short to medium term, and then to the medium to, I guess it depends what you, I would say maybe short term $5, and then medium term we'd be targeting about $10, right? Long term would probably be like, a year plus. I think over the next couple months, $5 is very realistic. And then over the next, 3 to 6 months, we could easily make our way up to $10. And like I said, if we see anything like safe banking, I'm starting to really like the look of MJ right now comparative to the rest of the market. And like I said, we're getting back over a lot of our moving averages. And we had this huge rip here where we went about 80%. That was back in March, but I told everybody to be very cautious because we didn't change the weekly trend. The move all came off the low. We lost the lower high, lower low pattern, so we were no longer in a weekly downtrend, but we didn't confirm the higher low and higher high in that weekly uptrend. We faded the whole move back, and then we went from about $9 all the way down to about $3, right? So huge fake out and bull trap straight into a new lower low. But the difference is here is we're already in a weekly uptrend. So we got above the 10-week moving average and closed above it, but now it's different because we're in a weekly uptrend. Here we didn't confirm the weekly uptrend and we broke to a new lower low. Massive dead cat bounce, right? But massive opportunity as well. And congrats to the bulls who did profit there. But again, this time looks different because we have the low, high, higher low, and higher high. Now we're scouting a higher low right on the 10-week moving average. And what the rule of thumb is if you close 3 or more candles above those moving averages, that's very bullish. Look here, we got 2. And then on the third one, we dipped below it. And then we gave it all back in a huge flush. Here, we're now 6 weeks in a row above that. So it's looking really good. And we're back testing old resistance as new support. The stochastic and the MACD are starting to go parabolic as well. But like I said, I think even $6, we're looking at, we're the 50 weekly there at 649. I think $6 is very realistic over the next, 1 to 2 months, maybe 3 months, and then 3 to 6 months. I think we could see here into the end of the year, $10 to $11 plus. And this could all happen very quickly, especially if we get safe banking. If you haven't seen my video with, I'll just bring it up here real quick. If you haven't seen my interview with Morgan Fox, the political director of Normal, we go over thoughts on his thoughts and my thoughts and overall, what we could potentially expect in terms of legalization. And that was a great interview, so I highly encourage you to go check that out. But essentially, he's expecting that safe. He thinks that realistically, it has a really good chance of passing. Personally, I think that it has about an 80% chance that it could pass. Let me know in the comments below if you think we're going to get safe banking leading into the end of the year. What do you think? It's a 80% chance, 90% chance? Do you think it has no chance at all? Let me know in the comments below. I always love reading the comments, hearing what everybody has to say. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. On your way, if you could smash the like, I would appreciate it. Share the video with anybody that might find value. And tick the bell to be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Going to end it there. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next